And welcome to Akamai Seniors. I am Percy E. Hara, your host, and my co-host, Miss Angie Wahine Kapu. That's a long one, Angie. We say it every week, though.
Wahine Kapu, yes.
Wahine Kapu, okay. Anyway, I'm Percy, your host here, and we'll be talking about senior things, senior issues, senior resources out there. We're here every month on Olelo, and you'll probably see us on we'll be promoting our podcast and on the AkamaiSeniors.com website. All these shows will be uploaded, as well as on the Olelo.net website. You'll find them, and there's a ton of shows there. So if you're computer savvy, great. If you need to find out when it is, you can give us a call. Our numbers will be at the end. So anyway, Angie, thank you for flying in. Angie lives on the Big Island, so she's my co-host. But my dad's from the Big Island, by the way. I don't know did I tell you that before?
Yes, you did. You shared.
Yeah, I still have a couple cousins there. I love the Big Island. And it was interesting about the Big Island. My parents started taking our whole family on a vacation about 1993. And so we went to Big Island where my dad grew up. We went to Maui where my mother grew up. We've been to the mainland, Waikiki, Kauai, everywhere. And one of our last really memorable vacations we went was the Big Island.
Oh, nice.
And my dad said, we're going to go on a Circle Island tour. And everybody goes, oh, no, we got to go around the island on a tourist bus? We had about 38 of us at a time. And I'm going to tell you guys.
Fun. It's always fun with
I'll tell you, the big Circle Island, Big Island, the tour is fantastic. We loved it.
What made it
just going to, you have what, 11 climate changes, so they say. You go up in the cold weather.
There's 13, right?
13?
But then we have 11 on the Big Island.
Yeah, but it's just amazing. The Kona bean farms, we get to go to see South Point, City of Refuge. You go up the Waimea side. We've been to, what's that famous bakery over there?
In Punalu'u?
Yeah, Punalu'u Bakery. Oh, I'll tell you. And our bus driver, I'll tell you, that guy didn't stop talking for 11 hours.
We did go on a tour bus.
Yeah,
you didn't just go with the family.
And I'll tell you that driver was fantastic. I love to go on those things. Whenever I go on a boat cruise or anywhere, I like to sit up front so I can talk to the
No, you want to take over. You're like standing
there. No, not at all. I didn't know a whole lot about the Big Island. But it was great. I would recommend everybody. And that's off topic here. I'll be off topic many times. But here on Akamai Seniors, that's where you want to go. And I tell all the seniors, have you been to the Big Island? Or you been to Maui, Kauai? Have you been to Hana? Have you been to Haleakala? Have you been to Hanalei? Go up Haleakala and Kula Lodge. There's so many great places you can go to. So when I do workshops, I try to give them pointers and tips on what to do because a lot of them are bored,
Well, my favorite place on the Big Island is at the volcano. I just love going there and eating lunch and looking out over the crater. It's beautiful. It's so, whenever I go home, I relax. It's beautiful. I never get bored of our island.
Have you ever been to the volcano at 12 o'clock midnight?
Yes.
Nobody's there. You can drive right up to the front and walk out. It's beautiful. It's pitch black though, so you have to have everybody walking has to have a flashlight. But it is a lot. I did that a few years ago.
I'll say that.
I walked out.
No.
I walked out. And the closer you get to the lava, when it was flowing a few years ago, you can feel your feet on you. It was getting hotter and hotter. You can tell it closer. But anyway, guys, we're off topic again. But anyway, we're here to talk about things that affect seniors, talk about resources, things about that you should start planning ahead. That's why we do this show, so we plan ahead and try to be proactive as much as possible because we're all going to pass on it someday. We're all going to need some type of caregiving. We're all going to need a Medicare plan. We're all going to have to age in place and find financial resources. And then we also got to talk to our kids because that's always be caring for you. When I see a couple, they come to my workshops, I say, I'm glad you brought your husband. Husband, look at me. And he looks at me like, because look at your wife and tell her you love her because she's the one pushing your wheelchair. Because most times than not, the women will outlive the man. But it's really important to really start planning out and things are going to happen. We don't live perfect lives. And so today we want to kind of spend a little bit of time on issues that we see seniors coming about. Yeah, Angie.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to go through some questions that seniors bring up to me, some of the questions and the concerns that they have. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and So a lot of our seniors, they're worried about outliving their money.
Yeah, so I'm in a reverse mortgage business. My compliance number, my license number is 582944. But I did a lot of research when I got in this business 22 years ago. And through my research, I found statistically, once you reach the age of 75, a lot of us, or most of us, are going to run out of money. And most of the reason why is because most people don't have pensions anymore. They stopped pensions in the 80s or 90s.
And people don't understand that.
Yeah.
They don't. They think that if they're working, oh, they got this, they got the 401k. They have no clue.
Until they meet with HR,
Yeah,
you're going to retire. And okay, hopefully
Until
when you
it's late.
file Social Security, you'll be at full retirement age. But now you talk to your financial advisor. Hope you have a financial advisor. If you don't, you know what, let us know. But it's important to understand what goes out every month and what comes in every month. And then you want to enjoy life. Like I know a lot of people back in the 90s and 2000s, they got out early. They paid them off to get out, and they had a big sum of money. I've seen people go through 300 to 400 to 500,000 in 10 years. Now they don't have a whole lot left. Now they're 75, 80 years old. Now they're living longer. Like now we got to worry about long-term care. But running out of money is the number one item we found through surveys. When people reach the age of 75.
Learning how to manage their money, because they get a large amount of money and they're like, oh, great, we're going to have fun now, right? We're going to go do these things that they, they've worked their whole life. And now they get to relax and they just don't know how to manage that. And then it creeps up on them when they get health issues, right? And having the right health care and having that in place, so outliving that.
Yeah, so I always tell when I work with financial advisors and consumers out there, we have two buckets of money. Your financial resources, your assets, your 401k, your Roth IRA, your stocks, bonds, and then you have on your right side here is your home equity. I tell all my classmates we're going to be 65 that hopefully you paid off your mortgage. Because if you don't, you keep on refinancing since 2010 when the rates were down, all you're doing is extending out their term. So now they're at 50 years old, they got a 30-year mortgage, now they're 70-year-olds, still got 10 years left to go, and that mortgage payment is still there.
Well, what do you say to those that didn't prepare for it? I mean, how do you help them? Like when they get there and they didn't plan right, they don't know about it, they just didn't get
Yeah, I'm not a financial
say?
advisor, I'm not an attorney, realtor, I don't sell insurance, I'm a mortgage guy. So I try to work with a financial advisor if they have one. Otherwise, with the couple, we sit down and find out what kind of assets they have left. And it really comes down to the three words that all my workshops I do with Akamai Seniors is, what are your needs, wants, and concerns in life? Now, next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road, what are the needs, wants, and concerns? And the reason why I say those three words was the needs, what I need now. Your concerns is, I'm concerned about this down the road, but I know it's an issue. But so let's try to address that now. And your wants are: do you want to travel more? Do you want to help your kids in college or your grandkids? Do you want to buy long-term care insurance? I don't sell that, but things they want to plan. So it's really important to address these as early as possible, because you just don't know what's going to happen down the road. We don't have perfect lives. We can fall down, get in a car accident. Early onset dementia.
Well, and I also want to say that, for our seniors, and even if you're not, you're younger, being honest with yourself. Like, where are you at? Really taking a look at your situation, right? And don't be afraid to come out and look for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, right? So many people they're embarrassed a lot to come out and say that, hey, I didn't set myself up right. Right? Don't be afraid to do that. Get in front of someone, and that's what we're here to help with.
So Akamai Seniors will be doing workshops starting in 2025. All kind of workshops regarding healthy living, Alzheimer's, dementia, caregiving, a little bit of financial preparedness. We're not financial advisors, but also I spend a lot of my time talking to the families, how to deal with the kids, how the kids deal with their parents. Because I'm 65, going to be 65, and I golf and play softball. A lot of guys my age, or maybe a little more.
He doesn't look 65. You don't look like it. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but my body doesn't feel, because I grew up playing sports, so I have a lot of more health issues. But it's really to understand that we're going to live longer, and hopefully plan, because a lot of times people come to me at too late,
Right.
and they ran out of money, so all they have left is home equity, you know. And so that's when we start planning about home equity line of credit or an FHA standby home equity line of credit. You know, those are really the key things, because I call it financial gerontology. Gerontology is the study of aging. How do we understand as we age, what's our financial picture going to look like when in 5, 10, 15 years down the road? And a big one for couples, when one spouse passes away. Now you lose almost half the income depending on the financial setup. And how are they going to live with the same property tax, car insurance? Hopefully they have long-term care insurance. How we're going to upkeep the house. We got termite the house. My grandkids need college money, or my kids want to buy a home. You know, all these things in life is going to happen.
But even more than that, I'm actually really excited, right? Because, you know, we're not teaching you, we're not here to teach about finances, but we're going to guide you. You know, that's our goal, right? At the end of the day, is making sure that we get this information out to you. And I'm excited because we're gonna get to meet people and meet different organizations out there, and interview and find out what's in it for you, right? How is it gonna help you, right, in your life, and preparing. And even if you didn't do it, if you didn't set yourself up right, what do you do? How can you find help? What's the 211 out there?
Yeah,
right?
There's a lot of state and city resources. I tell everybody, you know, I became an AARP member at 42 years old. I can get the magazine, but I can't use AARP benefits until you're 50. But if you're 50 over, you got to be an AARP member. You got to be an AARP member like myself. I'll tell you, they give free movies every few months.
You know, it's so funny to be at this age, because I remember a time when I'd be like, oh my God, 30 is so old. and then you get to, oh my gosh, 50 is so old. And now I'm with Ed, and Ed's always like, you know, he owns financial benefits and Akamai Seniors. He had a vision and said, instead of retiring, he opened up and he's like, I want to help seniors out there, right? But there's so many times that he's with me and he's like, I'm not old.
Old is here.
Yeah.
Old is here.
Yes. And I don't think it's old. I think that you have so much, right? And people are outliving, like you were sharing here.
Yeah.
Right?
The outliving money, that's something that's a conversation you have to have with your financial advisor. Come to one of our Akamai Seniors workshops. We do them every month somewhere on Oahu. Every week on somewhere on Oahu. And we'll be taking these workshops to the neighbor islands, starting with the Big Island, and eventually go to Kauai and Maui. But in 2025, you'll see them out there. AkamaiSeniors.com will be the website. And also look in the Generations magazine. It's a resource magazine for seniors. Well, all the workshops will be in there. But it's just something that we both have a passion for. I've been trained and certified in designations on aging. And so I try to share all this information with you, because a lot of people share the information and took time to train me. Right. So that's kind of like my give back to the community. You know, it's so important. We're not attorneys either, but basic legal financial matters, you got to start getting addressed and start planning for. I don't recommend that you have a trust, but it's good to have a trust. If you want to avoid probate, you need to talk to your attorney, your financial advisor, your CPA, how to set that up. But here's a big one when it comes to legal stuff. Do you know what a POLST is?
I don't. Share that with me.
POLST. Physician's Order for Life-Sustaining Treatment. So he goes, oh, you're talking about, a medical directive? Well, we have that. He said, well, medical directive is something you have at the hospital. Your doctor should have one that you filled out. You can get it online. You can get it at the State Office on Aging or Elder Affairs Division, or you can find it online. It's your medical directive. It says, if you have a heart attack, do you want to be revived? If you're in a coma, do you want them to pull a plug? When and who makes the decision? Who is your advocate there?
Well, and also sharing that with your family, right? Letting your family know that you're putting this in place, right? Because that's hurtful. Not really hurtful, but that can cause some happy moments, right? Because if one family member might not agree, and so letting them know ahead of time that you have this in place and you're putting this together, that would be very important.
It's very emotional when you're in a intensive care unit, you're in a bed, but the POLST is very similar to the medical directive. The post is actually what's called a physician's order. So you only get this document, it's a yellow-green form. You only get it from your doctor. So a lot of times the doctor will not tell you about it until you have a health issue. But I think if you're like in the 70s or younger, if you have health issues, you want to have that, because basically what that is that they're going to tell you, okay, Angie, we're going to go over this form here. I'll sign it. That's your physician's order. So basically, it's yellow-green form. You want to put it in your home, somewhere visible, because the first thing when a fireman comes into your home, and if they see you on the ground, the first thing they're going to do is, okay, go look for the post.
Okay.
That's why it's bright yellow-green form.
Okay, I know what that is now.
Because if you're on the ground, they legally have to revive you. And if you're a senior, they may break a few bones.
Right.
So I was telling my wife that, it's like, I'm still pretty healthy now, but down the road, if I have health issues and have a heart attack, I probably don't want to be revived, but that's another conversation. But it's just something I think if you're older and if your parents are getting older and have health issues, that's the first thing the fire department does. I was talking to a couple of fire chief friends of mine, and I was telling them, you're the first responders because there's a fire department on every community. Whenever the 911 call, they're there first. And so first thing they do is go to home. But I was talking to my fire captain friends and say, about what percentage of your calls that you go out people's homes is for seniors? And they shocked me. 60 to 70% of the calls they go out to are for seniors. They've fallen down, or they have an accident in their yard or in a home, and firemen are there. But they see you on the ground, the first thing they're going to do is your yellow-green form. So if you have health issues or if you're getting older, I would highly recommend you talk to your doctor. Do you think I need a physician order for life-sustaining treatment?
Oh, they should have that, but they should also talk to their family first.
Yes.
I think so, because I could see myself, if it was with my husband or my parent, I would probably be that one, get out of my way, I'll resuscitate them myself. You don't want that happening, just joking, all joking aside. But that would happen. You,
yes.
as a family member, you're going to want to save your loved one. So talk with them. For myself, going through being a caretaker, it's so hard. You don't want to let go. You can't ever see that happen.
How long were you caregiving for your grandparents?
For my mother.
Your mother?
15 years.
Wow.
Yes. And so I will tell you that when that day came, I was like, no, she'll make it through this. No, she's going to be fine. Kids don't know. In our hearts, in our minds, they're the perfect person. They always get better, right? So communicating with your family is very important. It's something you got to do. You got to do the good, bad, the ugly. Let them know what's going on, because we're from Hawaii. Let's just say we are from Hawaii. We got the Kanak attacks, right? Someone's going to get out there and say, get out of my way, or take it wrong. So it's very important as you're aging, right? As you're getting in place and getting ready, is having these things taken care of.
Yeah, families, I don't care how close they can be, you just don't want that to happen, and infighting. And I've had stories, where they actually get close to fist fights. I had a situation where this attorney brought this case to me. We're talking about that. He goes, yeah. So when they put no water or no food, so this client of his put no water, but then when grandma was in bed, the grandchildren came and the girls started getting a wet towel to wet the lips. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Is that giving water?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
yeah,
it's giving
but
water.
But grandma's lips are chapping, they're bleeding.
And they just want to give them love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can live a long time without food, but you need to have water. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're talking about these issues that are really concerning. So let's cover one more. Okay.
Well, one of the questions and for myself too, is your home sweet home? And also, who will take care of you when you can't take care of yourself?
So we'll cover who can take care of you later on. That's a big topic on caregiving. Home sweet home, basically when I talk to seniors about that, I say, is your home on one level? Yes or no? If it's a 2-level home, is your bedroom on the top or the bottom? Because walking down the stairs, you might be fine at 50, 67 years old.
Right.
But when you're 75, 80, or if you have health issues, or you have arthritis, or you have a stroke or heart attack, that could be more so. Or if you live up like a level of Pacific Heights or St. Louis Heights or Tanlis, driving up and down the road and then walking into your house,
Is
the
your
stairs.
home the danger?
Yeah,
Is your
it's a
home
big
the
issue.
danger, like the threat?
I
Right?
had a client, they got a reverse mortgage. I said, Cindy, you're 65, 68 years old. You're pretty healthy, but down the road, 10, 15 years from now, it may not be so. Sure enough, 10 years later, she called me and goes, Percy, you're right. I can't walk up the stairs anymore. Can you help me find one bedroom or with no elevator, condo?
Right.
So I said, I don't do
Very
real estate, but I
true.
called my realtor friend, goes, you want to age in place. If you want to make your home sweet home, really need to think that way. And it's something to talk to your family, if you have a realtor friend, but really navigating the home is a big issue. If you can afford to put an elevator or if you can afford to put a lift that goes up and down, great. Those things are great. And it does cost money, but it comes down to quality of life, guys.
Right.
How do you want to live in your
Enjoying
home? And I know if you have a great home, you raise the kids, you've been there forever, great.
But there's always avenues. Like there's some resource out there that you could get that help from eventually, I'm sure.
A lot of resources. Like I said, Generations Magazine has a lot of resources in there. Give us a call. I can provide you more information. It's just, there's so many resources out there to help you find a solution or resource to navigate how to keep your life good quality. And it's something that I tell people, yes, it's going to cost money, but let's for example, $3,000. Would that be able to live up, going up and down the stairs? If that lift costs you $3,000, I don't know what it costs, by the way. And yeah, it goes, there you go. Those lifts are great, go up and down. I have a couple clients that have up and down. I have one client that spent 50 grand and put an elevator in his home. Beautiful, but it works.
Well, it's helping them to see what they need.
Yeah,
right?
if they can
and
afford it.
actually bringing that to their attention, walking around their home with them, right? I know for us, being a broker, the first thing you do when you get into the home is you're looking at the safety, right? You kind of look at what's going on and knowing that's available, right?
So when you do Medicare sales, do you actually go to people's homes? Because I know you have a kiosk, a KTA. You'll see this banner here, this tablecloth banner at KTA. Now, which KTAs are there now?
So it's in Waimea and over in Hilo.
Okay, all right. But do you guys spend more time on the phone or in person or at your office?
It's a mixture of it all, right? You're out there doing everything, right? Because it's what's convenient for your client. Would you prefer coming to see me at a kiosk? Kiosks are generally for people that are walking up to you and they might have questions, right? You want to be available, right? I don't want to be there doing appointments because I'm there to help you when you stop by. Also I do a lot over the phone, but a lot of customers, they don't have a means of getting to us. There's so many seniors that don't have transportation, right? They don't have a way to get out.
Yeah.
So of course we'll go out to their homes. But we do see a lot, just like how you were talking about earlier, when the chaos happens, I've been in the homes when things are going on. I've watched, that's why I bring it up with you. I've been there when the children and there's fighting going on. I've also been there when they're trying to talk to Medicare, and Medicare will only talk to your parents. So that's something they got to prepare for ahead of time.
Try it again. Medicare will only talk to
Medicare will only talk to the beneficiary.
Oh,
they won't talk to anyone else. I've been there where, of course, there's a certain point of your life where you won't be able to talk. And they won't talk to anyone else. So ahead of time,
what about power of attorney?
They don't talk to power of attorney either. No, they don't. I mean, we've had that where I'm speaking out of experience. So you have to do that ahead of time. I always tell my clients when I sit down with them, I'm like, you need to, one of the tasks that you want to have done now that we're getting your Medicare set up for you is you also want to call Medicare, let them know one of your kids, someone you trust, and give them authorization to speak for you.
Oh, so you can do that.
You can do that ahead of time, and you should do that ahead of time. I'm sure, and I'm hoping possibly that they accept the power of attorney now, but I've been in several occasions that I've sat there and they have their own form, they have their own process to deal with the seniors. So I've been there for it. And
never thought about that.
Yeah, and
So
so
the more
you can't put them on speaker.
You can't put them on speaker?
And you're trying to direct them on what to say. They're very protective. Medicare is very
That's good.
protective of their beneficiaries.
good.
You can't speak for them, so they don't want. It's not something to prevent them from doing things, but protecting them.
Okay.
Okay.
So, last comments before we finish today? I know it's so quick, yeah?
It always
it's
goes
so quick.
by so fast. I'm just really excited, guys. I'm excited to be able to be part of this and get out there into the community and hopefully do some interviews soon with different organizations.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
We'll be bringing on more resources throughout the year. I know you'll be doing some workshops on the Big Island. And, on Oahu, look for Akamai Seniors workshops in the Generations magazine. And we'll be providing more and more resources to you. And we'll have a slate of numbers you can call. You can always call us to ask us our questions, referrals, resources, tips. But for a lot of seniors, I always recommend you come to a workshop. We're not here to sell. People that know me, I'm in the reverse mortgage world. People that know me, they know that I'm going to provide you information, not here to sell you anything. I'm here to educate you so you make your own decisions, but also make a informed decision and a smart decision, because there are a lot of people out there in the mainland calling Hawaii, trying to sell you things. It's ridiculous. And I hate to say that, but it's just gotten to that point where I'm getting calls. I'm turning 65. I'm getting calls. I'm getting emails.
Knowing what to say. No, learning what to say. How will you know, right? I don't think phone calls, because I do a lot of that myself, is necessarily bad. But knowing if it's how to ask questions.
Oh, but make sure they're local.
Yeah.
Make sure
well,
it's
there's
local.
nothing better than having a local agent.
Yeah.
Have someone that you can speak to, someone here like you. You're here. You can help them if you're a phone call away.
Yeah.
Right.
So thank you, everybody. This is Akamai Seniors. Don't forget akamaiseniors.com. Go to olelo.net. You can find all our shows, and very soon you'll find this show on a podcast somewhere online, and don't forget to check us out. So I appreciate your time as always. Aloha and live well.